New Year. There is no better day of the year to talk about my 2025 TBR than today. So let's jump into it. My book that I'm reading right now is This Will Be Fun. I really am just reading this. I'm barely in it. I'm on page 29. I'm reading this to not start another series before I reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame to prepare for Onyx Storm. So I'll probably need another standalone book after this one. I'm barely into it. It started kind of slow, and it seems like each chapter is a different perspective of someone. It's okay so far. I feel like I need to read more of it. Then, and these are in no particular order. Apprentice to the Villain. I feel like I'm seeing this series everywhere. Barnes and Noble already has merch out for this series, so I feel like that was enough proof of success for me to warrant buying the second book in advance, because I hate when you only buy the one and then you're reading it so fast because you love it and then you have to wait to get the second one. So I already got the second one. Then I have These Violent Delights. I don't know a lot about this book. I'm pretty sure it's a romance fantasy, but I feel like I've heard really good things about Chloe Gong, so I'm excited for that one. Belladonna, it's a YA book, but I feel again like I've seen this in a lot of places. It seems to be one of those best-selling YA romance fantasy books. So it says death waits for no one, ... except her. So I'm excited about this. I remember the beginning of last year, I was very hesitant to dive into YA because I thought it was like childish of me to be like reading those books. It clearly can't be as good as, you know, the books that of Sarah J. Maas and like Fourth Wing. But in a lot of ways, I felt like books like Caraval were more romantic because they didn't have the smut to rely upon. And so the dialogue was just, to me, the tension. Like, I love, learned that about myself. I love the tension in these romance books. Bridge Kingdom. I've heard about this book a lot from Destiny Sidwell, so I'm excited to read this. I don't know anything else other than this cover is like beautiful to me. The Poppy War. This was a very expensive special edition of this book, but it was so beautiful, and I've heard a lot about this over the last 2 years that I just kind of assumed that, hey, I'm probably going to love this book. So it was worth it to me to just buy the special edition book. And I love those sprayed edges. A Study in Drowning. Do you know, like, I watch so many TikToks and YouTube videos on books that when I'm in a bookstore, I'll just see a title and be like, I don't really know anything about that book, but that title is like triggering me, and I feel like that's what happened with this book when I saw A Study in Drowning. And I love the sprayed edges. Again, I'm a sucker for sprayed edges. Ninth House, this is going to be like a spooky October read for me, by Leigh Bardugo, the same author that wrote Six of Crows, and I really like Six of Crows. This one, I remember I started reading it last month and then realized, like, okay, wait, I need to wait for next fall, because I think it's going to be a seasonal read for me. And it's very moody, not really like the holiday season read. Okay, so we've got Ninth House, A Study in Drowning, Poppy War, Bridge Kingdom, Belladonna, These Violent Delights, Apprentice to the Villain, and then the second book for Apprentice to the Villain series. Assistant to the Villain, that's the second one. Obviously Onyx Storm, that comes out in January. And there's more over here. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Throne of the Fallen. I don't, honestly, when they do the solid color sprayed edges, When the Moon Hatch did this too, it just seems to me like a kid went with like a marker. And I don't like the look of that, but I feel like I've seen a lot of this book, so I'm excited about this one. Zodiac Academy, another YA series, but I feel like I've heard about this series everywhere. Okay. A Fate Inked in Blood. I believe this book is like a take on Greek mythology or Norse myth. Norse mythology. And so I'm excited about that one because it kind of gives me, like, the cover gives me the similar vibes to When the Moon Hatched. And I feel like these kind of get lumped together. So I'm excited about that. However, I feel like I overwhelmingly see good things about When the Moon Hatched. Okay, Quicksilver is on my TBR. I feel like you cannot have a TikTok these days and not be hearing about Quicksilver. So I'm really excited about this one. I'm kind of like saving it for later because with like Onyx Storm is Rebecca Yarros is my January month for the most part. And then I'll probably read 2 standalone books outside those 3. But this will probably be a spring read for me, especially if some of these books, other books don't work out. I feel like this is going to be a slam dunk book, like a guaranteed at least 4-star book, Quicksilver. Then I've had Swordcatcher on my bookshelf for so long, and I've never read it because it's also kind of thick. But I like Cassandra Clare. She is the one who wrote the Mortal Instrument series. And I really like the prequel series too to the Mortal Instruments. The Infernal Devices. I'm pretty sure that this is the same author. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't hear a lot about Swordcatcher anymore, and it's probably because it's been out for a while. But I just need to read this. I need to get this, like, either it's going to stay on my bookshelf after I read it, because that's what happens. So the books that I've read, they stay on the bookshelf because it's like my trophies. And if I don't like them, then I usually donate them or trade them in at the Changing Hands bookstore. Okay, and then, you guys, I think that is it here. I kind of want to reread the Throne of Glass books because it's been over a year since I've read Throne of Glass, and it's still the best series, like, ever that I've read. And how I felt when I was reading it was so powerful that I really want to reread that. Some of the other books that I don't have physical copies of yet, but are on my TBR for the year. And this is my little reading journal. Look at how cute it is. I had it personalized. However, I regret buying this because my 2024 reading journal was so much better. And I looked it up on Amazon and it's $10. I linked it in the description of my first YouTube video where I went over my 56 reads for the year of 2024. I put it in the description on Amazon. The layout of that journal I think was a lot better. I didn't realize that this journal is really only set up to accommodate, I think, like 32 books, which hopefully I'm reading more than 32 books this year. But this year I'm definitely not setting an aggressive reading goal. I want to read purely for the enjoyment of it, not because I'm challenging myself and trying to rush through. I felt a little bit of that this year in 2024. And now that I changed companies recently at work and took on some additional responsibilities. And now that I'm trying to do YouTube videos too, I'm like, I feel like I need to slow my roll just a little bit. Okay, so some of the other books on my TBR for the year are, okay, let's see, where's my little, okay. I want to read Daughter of No Worlds. I had this actually on my reading TBR for last year, and for some reason never got to it because I was always in the middle of another series and wanted to read more books in that series. I feel like that happens a lot, especially Ice Planet Barbarians really caught me by surprise last year because I was gifted one, read it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. So I bought eight of the books. I want to read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn, Hugo. I want to read Magnolia Parks because Destiny Sidwell on YouTube has talked a lot about Magnolia Parks, so I feel like I need to read that. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I do have that book somewhere. I don't know where I put the Warbreaker book, but I read the Mistborn trilogy last year, loved it, and I think I saw somewhere that Warbreaker would be a good book after that. Before you go into that, I forgot the name of the series, but it's the most popular series. after the Mistborn trilogy. And there's even more. It's not a trilogy. There's like at least 4 or 5 books in that one. But Warbreaker is a good standalone. And then, yeah, these other books I already went over because I have physical copies of them. So let's see how this goes. I don't even know how many books are on that TBR. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it's probably around 16 books on my TBR right now, which that can change to if these, like Zodiac Academy has several books in the series. So if I really want to read the other ones, then boom, this is going to like blow up. And if I want to reread my Throne of Glass series, that's 8 books, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 8 books. So let's see how this TBR goes. My TBR is heavily stacked in the romance fantasy realm. I'm kind of interested because I loved Bright Young Women so much. I might dabble in another true crime-esque book. But I feel like I can only mentally handle maybe one of those this year, because especially when it's involving crimes against women. I don't know if I don't think I could emotionally handle it against children, just because with a daughter and being surrounded by little kids, like I think that would send me over the edge. But yeah, maybe a true crime book for this year to help balance out my heavy romance fantasy genre. Let me know if you have some of these books on your TBR. If anyone ends up watching this, it's funny because I've started to tell friends that I have this YouTube channel. And at this stage in the game, I feel like this is actually really embarrassing that I have this channel, because literally I'm just starting and no one's watching this. But I got my first YouTube comment this morning. Like I woke up to the notification and it wasn't a spam comment. It was a legitimate, like well thought out comment by someone on one of the coolest characters in the Mistborn series. And that brought me so much joy that someone actually gave their take on a series that I love so much. So I hope that that comes out in the future. But honestly, this fills my cup just to talk about books and share my excitement with the internet, even if I end up talking to myself. But maybe some bots will at least be filtering through some of my videos content. Well, take care. I don't even know why I'm talking still. This video should have ended like 2 minutes ago. And I don't know how to edit videos yet, so maybe I'll eventually level up and start being able to edit videos. You guys, I'm filming this on QuickTime Player on my husband's laptop, and I make my thumbnails on Canva. This is the most bootstrapped channel as it gets. So I hope that if you're watching this, that it's bringing you some type of enjoyment and that you too love listening to other people talk about books. And I hope that you take my recommendations. All right, toodles. Happy New Year, guys.